Well, after a season of sickness and injury, Hungary's world doubles champion, Haller and Pito, did well to win the B final and qualify for next year's Olympics. Lane 6, Australia, and we're away. This is David Crawshaw and Peter Hardcastle. Hardcastle was in the boat last year, which finished in 4th place. So on the far side, it's Slovenia, then Great Britain, Italy, France, the Czech Republic, and Australia.
You've got in the Slovenia boat, you've got Luka Spik, who was the Olympic champion in this event with Chop in 2000, but he's brought in a rower, Maciek Prelog, from the 4 that has been pretty successful, and he's transferred very well into doubles, and they're moving very well. But look out for the French. They are very up and down. I mean, they have an extraordinarily varied profile. They were 7th in the World Championships. They were 2nd in 2001. They have been looking very nice actually in the heats and the semi-final here, so we need to watch out for them. But it's Australia who've taken the lead here in the early stages of this race.
Yeah, this is a Nick Garrett coach crew here on the near side, and there you can see the bow of lane 4. That's France. France, who have a tradition, Dan, of waiting for that sort of last 750 metres and then pouncing.
Well, we remember then with the Olympic pair how they came from 5th to 1st in about 30 or 40 strokes. Quite phenomenal. And they are a very nice double here, but as I say, they are very inconsistent. But here they are, they're moving now into 2nd place quite clearly, bringing Italy with them. And there's a very experienced Italian double, Galtarossa and Sartori, very experienced. Sartori was stroking the Italian 8 last year. He wanted a break from sculling, but here he is back in the strokes heat where he belongs.
Yeah, I can't emphasise what you've just said there too much. When you look down at the statistics, I mean, Galtarossa, well, he's got 5 World Championship gold medals already on his sideboard back home. And, well, Alessio Sartori, back in Indianapolis, do you remember he was winning the quadruple gold as well as the junior world singles? I mean, he was a real star in America there, and he's been a really good servant to them.
Oh, they are unbelievable and very, very experienced, as I say. But Italy are very well coached by Lamura. He has a very, very powerful hold over his squad, and he rules with an iron fist. But my goodness, he brings his men on well, and he produces some really tremendous crew racing.
Now, what about the British, Dan? Matthew Wells and Ian Lawson, the 2 Yorkshiremen, who I have to emphasise to avoid getting letters that they did a lot of their formative work up in Durham. They always seem to do well, providing they get a decent start, and that isn't happening at the moment.
Well, they've had illness through the year, but what has really turned the British sculling around is that they have been brought on as single scullers. So when one was ill, the other was doing the single, and both of them separately in World Cup races have made the final in the single sculls, which is a very, very good effort from that. So putting them together here, there certainly is a lot of potential, but young, they've started a bit slowly here, but they do have a lot of potential. So I hope to see quite a lot from them over the next few months.
But it is the French who've gone to the front at the half distance there. Sébastien Viardon and Adrien Hardy, coached by Jean-Raymond Pelletier. And this must be part of their plan here, because this is earlier than I suspected they would have taken the lead. And they are looking extremely smooth and very much in control. Yes,
they're moving very sweetly. Very nice sculling there. Beautifully connected, picking it up there on the legs, placing the blades, and then putting on the pressure. And that's a very, very good. They look well together, moving well together. But Australia slipped back rather quickly there after a very good first 500. They've slipped back now into 3rd place.
Yeah, the Czechs just 2 from the bottom of your picture there. Dolacek and Sinek making a little bit of progress in this 3rd quarter now, Dan. Remember a couple of seasons ago they came out of the Czech quad that was 11th, and on their own took 5th place last year, and they're still getting better.
Well, they are World Cup champions. They were 1st in Lucerne in the World Cup, and they were 1st in Munich, and they were 2nd in Milan. So really they are a pretty strong force here in this field.
I was going to say, actually, Dan, there's clearly something also happening in the Czech Republic, maybe inspired by Chalupa, who's been their sort of pathfinder, the lone man for them. But, you know, we've seen Napkova later in the regatta. They've got a quad, which is pretty useful as well. As we see Viardon Hardy take a clear length. And Sébastien Viardon, who was 27 last Tuesday, well, this looks as if it could be a superb birthday present.
Yeah, they are looking absolutely supreme here, moving very, very sweetly through the 1,000-meter mark, and they've got open water on the field, and the way that they're sculling, they're not under pressure, and you can see really that no one's going to catch them. But here now come Italy and Czechs, the Czech Republic. They are pushing on very, very well now in lanes 3 and 5.
Yeah, the Czechs just travelling a little bit faster than the Italians during that third quarter. The French, though, 1:35, the quickest of anybody on the regatta course. Slovenia in fourth, ahead of Australia and Great Britain. Sadly, back to sixth place, Dan, but no one's going to stop these Frenchmen.
Well, they are moving very sweetly, but they are getting a lot of pressure there from the Czechs and the Italians. And the Italians now seem just to be getting the edge over the Czech Republic.
Well, Dan, what makes Viardot and Hardy so special for you?
Well, they're not big athletes, but they do row very, very well together. Technically, an extremely nicely balanced crew. And you can see the stern there, just as it's moving, it's hardly checking at all. But Italy's certainly coming back at them. Italy have got an overlap, and it's only 200 metres to go, and Italy are moving all the time.
That they are, but they're not going to catch them, and this is going to be a welcome French success. The French, whose heads dropped a little bit after they lost the vote, Aigues-Belette losing out to Munich to host the 2007 World Championships, which of course will be the Olympic qualifying event for Beijing 2008. But no one's going to think of that now. It's all about Sébastien Viardot and Adrien Hardy, who come to the line ahead of Italy and ahead of the Czech Republic to take the gold in the men's double sculls. And they do so with a real flourish there on the far side. Slovenia holding off Great Britain there for fourth place, Britain fifth, and Australia in sixth. At Račice in the Czech Republic, then it was Lamarck and Barate. Today it's Viardot and Hardy.
Well, new world champions here. Only 2 world champions have held on to their titles in the Olympic events. Can Germany hold on in the fours in the next race up?